Hey guys, I want to take a little bit of time today to talk about what is probably my favorite disc of all time, the Envy. So I have been throwing MVP drivers for, I don't know, a couple years, but I've never really dabbled in their mid-range or lower. I've always been a discraft guy when it came to the mids. I threw Prodigy putters and didn't really have an approach disc that I liked. I was throwing PA1s and PA4s in premium plastic for that sort of approach. I was throwing buzzes, wasps, drones, comets, souls kind of for the mid-range slot, and then I was putting with PA4s in their 200 baseline plastic. And at some point, you hear everybody talk about the Envy, and I decided I got to give this thing a shot. So I picked up an Envy, took it out for the first time, threw it in the field. Was like, all right, this is good. Standard overstable putter. Threw straight, minimal fade, no turn. It's pretty much like my PA1s, but with a little bit less fade at the end. So probably like a PA2. I've never thrown one, but I imagine that's what it would fly like. I really liked it. And then I took it out to the course and absolutely destroyed with it. So then, really liked it and started putting with it and really liked it as a putter. And as I threw it more, I realized I could throw it just as far as most of my mids. So then it started taking over my mid slot to the point where I'm basically running an Envy for everything mids and below now. Minus a few exceptions. I do have a runway pyro fight going on for the super overstable slot, and I do have a matrix for the really low tunnel shots where the putter, to get the 3 to 330 feet range, I'd have to get too much height with a putter, and the matrix will go sort of low and straight that same distance. So yeah, I've reached the point now where I'm throwing an Envy for everything under 330 feet, pretty much, and putting with it, and I still absolutely love it. And I now have 8 Envies in various flavors, and so I'm going to go through those today and my thoughts on them and how they fly and break in. Yeah, I'm going to throw in some throwing video I did this morning just to give you some examples. Keeping in mind my technique is not the best by far. Like I said, I can throw these maybe 330 if I really crush them. And today there was like an 8 to 10 mile an hour headwind. But yeah, other than that, I'm in Minnesota, so pretty low elevation for those that are looking at this in Denver or something. Take that with a grain of salt. So yeah, we'll get into it, and I'll work my way through all my various Envies and let you know what I think. So my first Envy that I got was this Electron Soft 174. It's a yellow with a purple rim, and it is soft. And this guy, when I first threw it, flew like all the other Envies, super straight, no turn, and just a light fade at the end, so just a really straight disc. And is in the Electron plastic, super grippy, and then especially the soft stuff. And it flew that way the first time I threw it in the field. After it went to the course and hit a couple of trees, it instantly changed. So this stuff beat in so fast. After one round, this thing became an understable disc for me, to where I use this, it flies more like a proxy now, but maybe with a little bit more fight at the end. But yeah, it really, so the numbers on it, it's kind of neat. I love how MVP does this, where even their plastics, like the flight numbers change. So this is a 3.3 -1.2 in Electron, but if you look at it in proton or neutron, it's got a 0 for the turn. So they even reflect the numbers properly with the different plastics. But it definitely flies like that for me now, where it might even be like a -2 at this point. It's hit enough trees. And it also, you can see, maybe, it's like super warped and like puddle topped now. That, like, I'm sure that's part of why it's so understable. But it's super nice because I use this for anything that I need to do a turnover with, and I can hyzer flip it a long ways now. So this guy is still probably my favorite Envy, even though it definitely doesn't fly like the rest of my Envies anymore. It is now super understable. So we'll go take a look at some of the film. Now, along with the soft Envy, soft Electron Envy that I got, I also picked up this soft Cosmic Electron Envy at about the same time. Looks a little nicer. It's in way better condition. It's still flat, but it is still the flexible, bendy, soft plastic. This one, because I really haven't thrown it as much, it's sort of the backup. I throw it in the field, but that's about it. So it hasn't hit any trees. So this one still flies pretty true. It's still pretty stable. I mean, it'll turn a little bit, especially if you get a headwind or something, it'll definitely turn. But it's pretty much super straight still. So let's go take a look at that one. So after the Electron Envies, I picked up my first plasma, this pink plasma Envy with the yellow rim. And this thing was way more overstable out of the box. This definitely flies. You can see the flight number is 3302, not -12. And it definitely, that zero is still true to this day. Okay, I've flipped it once or twice in headwind. But other than that, this thing is super, super straight. And it was kind of a meat hook when I first got it. It definitely wanted to fight out hard at the end. But I did take it to the course a few times, hit a couple of trees with her, and now, maybe a month later, if that, it's now got a way softer fade at the end. It's probably the straightest disc I have now. So this flies pretty similar to that Cosmic one that we just looked at, the Cosmic Electron, but it's way more durable and probably will stay that way much longer than that one. So this has been really nice. I love the look of plasma plastic, but it is just not as grippy. So I sometimes don't trust these when they get wet, and I'll throw the Electron instead. But usually I'll be trying to throw this if I need a straight shot, and you can really crush on these guys. So we can go take a look at some throws. along with that plasma envy, I did pick up a cosmic neutron envy, this fancy green and blue, like Earth Day special looking one. And this thing, I don't know if it's just the cosmic neutron or neutron in general or what, but holy meat hook. This thing flies more like a pyro or a runway when you first get it. Like, it is super overstable, this one I got. I have been keeping it in the bag because I basically use it for those overstable mid shots, you know, the spike hyzers in approaches and things like that, where I really want it to just fade out hard. So I have been using it for it, and it's been getting beat in, and now it flies a little straighter, but it's still way more overstable than any other Envy I have. It is a 171 too, it's not even max weight. So I try to keep my Envies around the low to mid 170s. But yeah, so we can take a look. I noticed today when I threw it, it did seem a lot straighter than it has in the past, so maybe it's finally starting to break in. So maybe it will soon be less of a meat hook, and I will have to rely on my pyro or my runway instead for those shots. But it's definitely the nicest looking, I think, in my opinion. I really like the blue, green, and of course my camera gets wonky with colors, but yeah, let's go take a look. So because I liked the Electron plastic so much, but the soft really beat in so fast, I decided I wanted to try some of the other Electron, you know, the medium and the firm plastic, and see how they compared. So I put in an order to get two more Electron Envies in the medium and the firm. Ooh. Yeah. Hard to tell them apart, I guess, but it does say firm plastic and just nothing on the medium. So we'll kind of look at these together because honestly they fly identically. The softness is nearly identical. I can't really tell the difference between the medium and the firm. And obviously these two just very much look alike because they're the same sort of colors. But I threw these. I realized they're very nice and they'll probably stay stable a lot longer, but I decided actually instead of slotting them as throwing putters, I'm using these as my putting putters now, just because they're so similar, same weights, 172, and I just really like putting with the Envy and kind of want to have a couple very consistent putters. So yeah, very nice. I would definitely consider picking up another Electron Envy for driving in the firm or the medium. Try beating them in a little bit more to see how much flippier they get, because these guys really do fly straight. Very little turn and just a light fade. So we're going to kind of look at the throws of these two side by side. You can see they're basically the same. Alright, so I thought I was good with my Envy set until I got my Gyropalooza Mega Pack, and I picked up another couple Envies. The first of which is this nice plasma in a gray. It's kind of cool with a gray, sort of a green-white rim. Looks just white on camera, but it is sort of a yellowy green color too. And so this guy, it was fun to get this guy and throw it along with my other plasma that I have and see the difference, because this one, again, it's pretty stable, overstable, right away, just like the other one was. So you can kind of see how much it changes just over the course of a few months, as far as stability goes. So we'll check out what this guy looks like. Alright, and last, the second Envy I got in my Mega Pack was the Eclipse Envy, which I hadn't thrown. The Eclipse, this is in a 166. I've heard the Eclipse is generally more stable, but because this is so light, I feel like it flies pretty much like plasma for me, and kind of partway between the gray and the pink one I have. So it's almost like it feels like it's a little beat in. So I'll be curious to see how much this changes, if it gets really flippy or if it stays fairly straight. It is the Eclipse Glow plastic. It does glow pretty well. I mean, I don't do much in the way of glow disc stuff or night disking, so I've only just seen it like in the closet at night. But it's nice, and if you played glow rounds, this would definitely be my mid, my putter, and my approach, right? But yeah, we can take a look at how that guy flies next. Alright, so those are my Envies. Overall thoughts, it's still, after a month and a half now or whatever of bagging these guys and beating them in and trying them in all these different types of plastic, I still absolutely love it. I would not trade them. I wouldn't want my buzzes back or my souls or my drones or any of that stuff. I really do just like the Envy. It fits and fills all of those roles that I used before. And like I said, I do bag a pyro / runway, still going between those two, for really overstable shots. Like if I need to skip hard around a corner, or if it's like just a ripping headwind, I'd probably throw those. But I mean, the Envy fills the soft one does a super good overstable sort of mid and approach shot. Lots of straight shots with the plasma, and then the cosmic neutron can definitely get overstable and kind of make those nice little hyzer shots. And then it just putts really well in the Electron plastic. So yeah, I highly recommend taking a look, and look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.